The pomp, the pageantry, the endless fireworks as WWE sets fire to the sky itself in an attempt to smoke out God. No gods or kings, only mania. One of the reasons why we love WWE's biggest show of the year is that everyone gets involved, gets prom levels of fancy, and throws as much glamboyancy at you until you drown in it. Wrestlers wear their most beautiful frocks, the set is Ozymandianly big, and of course those special entrances. Shawn Michaels zip-lining down to the ring, Austin walking through the shattered glass, Undertaker emerging through the tortured, grasping souls. There are countless amazing WrestleMania entrances, but no one gets it right every time, and 60% of the time, WWE gets it wrong every time. I'm Adam, hailing from partsFUNknown, and here are our 10 worst WrestleMania entrances. Number 10, lacks swagger. WrestleMania is a long show. Even before they started taking the absolute piss at Manias 32 to 35, it was a long show. One of the reasons why is that everyone gets an entrance. Are you winning? Have a lovely big entrance. Are you losing? Have a lovely big entrance with a live band playing your theme song. At WrestleMania 29, Jack Swagger got no entrance. In fact, a jobber entrance. The live feed came back from a video package and Jack was already in the ring with his music playing. By any and all definitions, that's a jobber entrance in a world title match at WrestleMania. There was a mini racist mobile by the ring, presumably that Jack and his ornery grandpa Zeb Coulter rode down to the ring on, but the viewers at home didn't get to see it, perhaps because the Jack man was in the doghouse at the time, having just been charged for driving under the influence a month earlier. He would have got a WrestleMania entrance, then he got high. Number 9, Mysterio. No, poor Ray's knees. No one in wrestling history has been jobbed out more than Papa Mysterio's patellas, and that's not helped along by his entrance. See, the standard fare for Ray's entrance, especially at big shows, would involve being catapulted through the air by a quick rising trapdoor before executing a superhero landing, often dressed as a superhero. Snicked. Or the Daredevil. Hello. At WrestleMania 26, his trapdoor no-sold his entrance, refusing to budge. Ray's pyro went off, the kind that would normally accompany him popping up through the floor, but then the camera hastily cut to the crowd as people backstage started shouting, "Fuck, fuck, oh, fuck, fuck," into their headset. After covering the crowd for what felt like ages, the camera finally cut to a super jarring close-up of Mysterio on the ramp, eyes wide and out puffed from having pegged it round the corner up onto the ramp. Probably Dom-related sabotage, he's always had it in for him. Number 8, Bray Strawman. Oh, Bray, darkness is your friend, unless that darkness is a UV light, in which case it's not your friend, turn it off. Bray Wyatt can usually be relied on for two things: spookums of varying quality and a killer entrance. Ever since the beginning, he's had one of the best. Darkness lit by lantern light, with the WWE Universe providing that Firefly magic. Beautiful, unique, perfect, which made his entrance at WrestleMania 31 all the more disappointing because of one simple thing. It happened while it was still light out. Wyatt was wrestling The Undertaker, whose entrance also suffered, but nowhere near as much as Bray's, because it involved spooky scarecrows borrowed from a local Amdram society doing zombie walk nonsense, and Bray walking down to the ring via lantern light in the afternoon. Bray, my dude, you don't need the lantern, you can see. We can all see, us and your silly Party City Wizard of Oz boyfriends. Number 7, we all fall down. Look, walking isn't easy. One foot in front of the other. Slow down, Professor. And never is it harder to walk than on the grandest stage of them all. Seth Rollins famously almost fainted during his WrestleMania 35 entrance, and while he narrowly avoided disaster, not everyone has been so lucky. At WrestleMania 20, Ultimo Dragon, one of the most decorated luchadors of all time, tripped over not once, but twice on his own cape during his entrance to the Cruiserweight Open, which has been carefully edited around on the network. Also edited around on the network, Mandy Rose slipping and falling on the rain-soaked ramp at WrestleMania 37 during her entrance alongside Dana Brooke. What has not been edited around, because screw Drax, I suppose Big Dave doesn't even go here, Batista at WrestleMania 35, tripping over the middle rope on his way into the ring to face off against Triple H in a big, boring match. And honestly, the fact that Ultimo Dragon having a tiny tumble was cut around and one of the most famous actors in the world stacking it hasn't, that's very, very funny. Number 6, Randy rides the sperm. Oh, WWE, you and your graphics. While it would be easy to dedicate a worst entrances list to WWE's often appalling use of those 3D rendered AR tech sneezes, I mean, I just want to stop seeing that big gold Roman or the big-time Bex, or Bianca's terrifying disembodied mouth Pokemon. But no, this entry is about a different type of graphic, the one that was projected onto the entrance ramp during Randy Orton's ludicrous match against Bug Life Bray Wyatt quiet at Mania 33. It was a bad night for projections that night. Stop it. Bray had a good entrance because this time he waited until the sun went down, but Randy's made the audience piss themselves. He came out, did his pose, and then walked down to the ramp as what was supposed to be a giant snake writhed on the ramp underneath him. However, with its big bulbous head and swimming tail, looked just like a giant sperm, ladies and gentlemen, one with a terrible frame rate that would judder and clip under his boots as he walked. Very funny to think of Orton looking down during his entrance and whispering to himself, "Oh, f***ing hell." Also later at Mania 35, he came out between two giant AR turds. Why? Number 5, Paul's bullshit. Part 1. There are very few things that are always funny. A man getting hit in the crotch by a football, old people swearing, and Triple H's WrestleMania entrances, the end result of typing big tough guy into Google images and going with the first thing you see. And what could be more tough than a giant tricycle, an incredibly slow moving police chase, and Stephanie McMahon looking like Sandy at the end of Grease. The size of the lapels on that leather waistcoat, O-trips never change. I was there in person to see that, and I fell off my f***ing chair at his little vroom vroom. It looked like him and Steph were being pulled over on their way home from seeing the Rocky Horror Picture Show with the rest of their married friends. Triple H has managed some cool entrances in the past, the big king in yellow at Mania 30 being a particular favourite. This, however, was not one of his best. That bike is so goddamn funny. Stop being so funny, bike. Number 4, John's bullshit. Part 1. John Cena can be relied on for a ridiculously overblown WrestleMania entrance dripping with more patriotic cheese than an Old Glory stitched together from 100 craft singles. Sometimes this works, like the marching band at 24, the honor guard drill at 26, or the gospel choir at Mania 27. What did not work quite as well was the mobster entrance at Mania 22. Featuring the cast of Bugsy Malone and also a teeny tiny CM Punk riding down to the ring on the bulletproof bomb before Cena emerged wearing his dad's coat and fired a f***ing gun into the air. Chicago's greatest export, comedy mobsters. Just imagine if WWE did that today. At WrestleMania 39, Logan Paul comes down to the ring waving a f***ing Beretta around, or Austin Theory burst out dressed as a member of the Cornbread Mafia firing a weed cannon into the crowd. Oh, John, you're the toughest boy in the high school play. Number 3, Paul's bullshit. Part 2. It's WrestleMania season, so it's time to treat you to a round of frosty Triple H milkshakes. And sure, I'm making fun of the man for getting quite serious burns, and I'll reckon with that when I'm dead, but this is pretty funny though. Now, we all know that Triple H is a big toughie, and his entrance at WrestleMania 29 for his match against Brock Lesnar is very much indicative of that, and on paper, it's one of the good ones, emerging from a giant version of Vader's old helmet like he'd been birthed out of sheer metal itself. However, the entrance backfired hilariously as Triple H emerged. He was sprayed across the midsection with not smoke, but dry ice, which caked his tummy and left him looking like he had a delicious vanilla glaze, completely obliterating the effect they'd hoped the entrance would have. Absolutely fair play to Trips for toughing it out and no selling the fact that the dry ice had just given him second-degree burns, but there's no way that any entrance that could be described as satanic bukkake isn't making it onto this list. Number 2, John's bullshit. Part 2. Send in the clones. Those daffy, laughy clones, send in those soulful and doleful schmaltz by the bowlful clones. They're already here. Circa 2009, it was the height of the Cena wins LOL phenomenon, and most hardcore fans were firmly of the opinion that one John Cena was a John Cena too many. Well, at WrestleMania 25, WWE gave us Cenas until we can't stands no more, sending out a small army of John Cena clones in matching shirts and caps to line the entrance ramp and do the "you can't see me" gesture. I tried to count them all, and there's like 50 of them. And hey, don't get me wrong, finding 50 grown men who are willing to suspend their dignity by wearing John Cena wristbands, that must have been a Herculean task. And there are some people for whom this is their very specific kink, but oh no thanks, not for me. There is a very fine line between grandeur and embarrassment, and the idea that John Cena either cloned himself and then released those clones into the wild to die when he'd finished with them, or that he'd assembled a bunch of his friends and paraded them around in his own merch is a bizarre road to Where's Wally. It just read deeply lame to me. Maybe I'm the only one, but hey, speaking of that, number 1, Paul's bullshit part 3. Now look, we're on YouTube, we're no strangers to product placement. Sometimes a little help from a cereal or a Raid Shadow Legends helps to keep the lights on in this era of generally dwindling ad revenue across YouTube's barren wasteland. But if Ollie ever asks me to wear a metal Terminator poncho in a skit that even SNL would regard as a little cheap looking for a spoof, then that would be the beginning of my 30 days notice. The second-hand embarrassment I felt from rewatching this WrestleMania 31 entrance burned more than any dry ice ever could. In a bit of air quotes brand synergy, WWE partnered with Terminator Genesis, easily the worst Terminator movie by the by, to see Daddy Trips walk out looking like he just killed the Tin Man and fashioned him into the dad version of one of those entire dead animal scarves that posh women used to wear in their Downton Abbeys for some reason. "I'm gonna look cool, right?" said Triple H. "Oh, very cool," said the costume designer, handing him a bunch of Terminator skulls with a straight face and a liar's heart. Daddy Paul has done a lot of very silly things in the name of testosterone at WrestleMania, but this is by far the silliest. And that's our list. What's your least favorite WrestleMania of all time? Let us know in the comments, and if you want to check out last week's list, that's 10 times WWE got WrestleMania wrong, and it's great. Have a peek. After 38 WrestleManias, there's a litany of treasured memories, feelings that WWE got their biggest show of the year right. Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30, Ric Flair's retirement, Shawn Michaels' retirement, Bianca versus Sasha, to name but a few. But this list is all about the times where fans walked away from WWE's flagship show thinking, bloody hell, that sank without a